Hi, I'm Sasha Segan from PCMag.com, and this is What's New Now. Apple introduced split-screen multitasking for the iPad, native apps for the Apple Watch, and a $10 a month streaming music service at its Worldwide Developers Conference this year, offering something new for nearly every Apple product owner, and even some new stuff for Android and Windows. Let's break it down. The broadest and most expected announcement was Apple Music, a direct competitor for Spotify, Slacker, Pandora, and Amazon. Apple Music combines an on-demand streaming music subscription, a 24/7 global radio station with live DJs, various hand-curated playlists, a library of music videos, and artist pages full of news and social media posts. It'll replace the music app on your phone and replace iTunes on your Mac, and also fold in the traditional iTunes Store as well. Apple Music, unlike a lot of Apple products, will be available for Macs and iDevices, but also Android and Windows. The Mac and i versions of Apple Music will come out on June 30th, with the other versions following this fall. Let's move on to the iPads, because with iOS 9, we finally have split-screen multitasking on Apple's tablets. You'll need an iPad Air 2 for the best version, which will just divide the screen in half so you can run two apps at once. Lesser iPads, including the original Air and some minis, will let you pull up basically the iPhone version of a second app in a side panel, which Apple calls Slide Over. Both iPads and iPhones get a new News app, which looks like it's trying to kill Flipboard. It's full of great-looking newspaper and magazine articles. Apple Maps finally absorbed Hopstop, so you have transit directions. And Apple Pay is coming to the UK. That's the top announcements for the iGadgets. Mac owners, meanwhile, get a new version of OS X called El Capitan, with a ton of minor UI changes, but most importantly, some major performance improvements. Apple says it's twice as fast at switching apps and showing mail messages. Apple Watch users, meanwhile, are getting a much better developers kit with native apps that run on the Apple Watch itself, with no phone connected, and developers will also be able to create the little functional gadgets that go on watch faces. The most important thing about all of this, as always with Apple, is that people are actually going to get all of this stuff. Many of the features Apple announced today are already available in Windows or Chrome or Android, but Apple's free universal updates mean that you don't see a lot of recent machines stuck on OS versions 2 or 3 generations old like you do in the Windows and Android worlds. That's really important. OS X El Capitan is available to developers today as a public beta in July, and it'll come out for real this fall, probably with the next generation of Macs. The same goes for iOS 9, which will probably appear with the next iPhones in October. Apple didn't give a date for the new watchOS, but that'll almost certainly come out before the new watches do. All of these upgrades will be free. Apple Music at $10 a month is clearly the announcement to watch here. Apple has failed at these kinds of music services before. iTunes Radio never made much of a mark, and hardly anyone remembers Apple's Ping social service. There's also a lot of good competition out there. But Apple has a strong brand in music, and there's a lot of advantage in being the default music app on iPhones. So what was missing? Anything with TV, of course. I guess we'll see that maybe in September. For now, take a look at PCMag.com for more details on all the Apple announcements. I'm Sasha Segan, and that's What's New Now.